All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Fish Barn live stream. We're going to go ahead here and give it a couple minutes here for folks to join, and then we'll go ahead and dive into the topic, take you around the barn, and see what's going on. It's been quite an interesting few days for sure. So we'll go ahead and go through that. Been playing around with some logos, things like that too. So we'll take a look at that as well. So let me go ahead here and kind of welcome people in. We've got the Zen Ginger. Thank you for moderating. I do appreciate it. Thank you, Davo, for coming in. Thank you, Stephen. I've been really enjoying your streams, especially the Friday night. And actually, that was kind of the genesis for me kind of playing with some AI and some artwork and stuff that we'll get into here in a minute. So thank you for that. I've been really enjoying the Friday night streams, even though I'm kind of half awake. It's late. Friday I'm usually pretty tired. So, but yeah, we'll go ahead and give it another couple minutes, and then we'll go ahead and jump in. Hello, Audra. Hello, Scotty and Skull. So, yeah, just give it a hot second here, and then we'll dive into the announcements and go ahead and get started. Hello, Andrew. So I am going to go ahead here, and actually I'm going to do a screen share for the first part of it, kind of just because I think it's a good way to kind of talk about the topic. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Just give me 1 second. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll make one announcement first. First announcement here is that I'm going to be speaking at the Motor City Aquarium Society, February 13th, 7 p.m. At the Infinity Hall and Sidebar. That's in Fraser, Michigan, at the address above. And then you could read my bio if you care to. It's basically, I think, I kept saltwater, kind of got into Goodeids and things like that, and been in the hobby for a little bit. So, and then let's kind of jump into after that announcement. I kind of want to go through each of the events, kind of like I've been announcing the events kind of at the beginning of the stream. I really want to dive into those and kind of explain what I kind of think they are and like the differences between them. And then we'll talk about what you guys want to go to as well. Put in the chat like what events you guys would like to go to as well. So the first one here is Keystone Clash. What I'm looking forward to, I would kind of, my impression of it, since I've not been to it, is it's kind of like the OCA where it's a club-sponsored event. It's been around for quite a while. You don't have like large vendors like an Aquashella or what the Aquatic Experience was. But you do have, kind of the typical club fish show things. You've got, the fish show, you've got aquascaping competitions, the auction, which you're not going to find at something like an Aquashella. You will find the fish show piece of it at Aquashella. They have like the shrimp show, and the flower horn show, but it's kind of a lower key kind of event compared to like what an Aquashella would be. So that's kind of like what I think of the Keystone Clash, and I'll actually will lump the OCA into that as well. They're kind of this. I kind of view them kind of the same. I hope I'm not like offending anyone by saying that, but I think it's kind of like the same sort of event. So next one up here, this is kind of your big club conferences per se, like your national, like Live Bear Association, ALA, ACA, American Killifish Association conference. This is the Lone Star Cares Convention. Kind of what the Triple Crown was. Depending on how they run these, they're kind of different. Like when they do it like this, where they put all the clubs together, it seems to be more. It's obviously bigger, so it kind of gets into that realm of like an Aquashella-ish, type of event. You probably won't see as many large vendors. Just going on my experience from the Triple Crown back in 2022. But when they split them apart, it kind of turns back into kind of the smaller. Yeah, I'm kind of speaking more from the ALA perspective on this, but it kind of turns into like the smaller, um, kind of like a Keystone Clash type OCA type event. Like when we went to when I went to Kalamazoo for the ALA, it was more of that ALA smaller club type feel. I know the Cichlid Association is probably a lot bigger. I know that AC is bigger than ALA, but still, it's kind of like that. It kind of turns back to that kind of club type event. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do about this event yet. That decision for me probably won't come till I'm going to say probably March. Just going to see how things kind of play out, but yeah, like looking forward to seeing what comes out of that. I really do kind of need to go to this one though, because I'm kind of doing some work with the Ghanaian working group in terms of the Xenotoka Eyes and I. So I really would like to go. It just has to figure out, am I going to fly there? Going to do things like that. So I'm not really sure yet what the plan is going to be for this yet. I really would like to bring fish down to that, but we'll see. All right, next one. This is Aquashella. You can see the dates there. They're obviously different locations other than Dallas for 2025. One thing I will kind of say about Aquashella is this is your big trade show. You're going to see a lot of like products. You're going to see, large speaker halls. You're going to see, like coral vendors. You're going to see the bigger companies, like the Fluvals and people like that, kind of come to this event, showing off products. It's definitely, and then you're going to see the art component of that, which I've always found to be a pretty unique thing when it comes to Aquashella. It's kind of an event where you kind of, meet your big YouTubers. You can go meet, whatever big YouTubers are there. I haven't looked at the speakers list or anything like that. There's a big saltwater component to this as well. In my days on saltwater, actually, uh, Magna's, which was the Marine Aquarium. It was the Marine Aquarium. I don't remember what it stood for. I'm drawing a blank, but it was called Magna, and it was basically the Marine Club of all the clubs, and they would put together this event, and it was pretty outstanding in its heyday back like 2008, 2009, 2010, 11, 12. Unfortunately, they don't have the show anymore. But yeah, but it was just outstanding. Like basically, you kind of threw in like the party aspect and the educational aspect, and it was a very long weekend, and it had probably the best raffle I've ever seen. I mean, the raffle at the end it was a 3 hour raffle. I won Vortex at that raffle. I won fish, all kinds of other things like that. So it was outstanding. And then what they would do is they would have like literally have three big conference rooms. It was like I'll talk about the one in Miami. The hotel was basically on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, and they had entertainment like Friday night, and then throughout the weekend you could go to various talks. There were 3 talks per hour that you could go to, and it was almost like going to like a college like convention where you can see all these various saltwater speakers, and then they actually had a banquet at the end of it. Like you would have like with your local fish club. They had a big banquet, a huge room. They would have like a keynote speaker, and then the last day they would have the big raffle, and it would literally be from like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and get done about 5 o'clock, and then they would give away a really large reef aquarium. I think it was like a 400-gallon reef aquarium. Like if you won the grand prize, so it was definitely something that I really enjoyed. I don't think that for a lot of shows that's really a viable thing anymore. Unfortunately, the Magna convention was kind of a victim of COVID. So, Hello Aquarium is maintained by Andy. Yeah, sorry, that you couldn't make it, but thank you for stopping by. So yeah, um, so that's kind of Aquashella. That's your big trade show. Something I think everyone should experience if you're into going to aquarium shows. I've kind of moved on from that personally, but that's not saying it's bad or anything like that. It's not my. I kind of enjoy the smaller shows more. I'm not like a huge crowd person, so. But if this is your thing, definitely I would recommend checking out Aquashella. All right. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you is there's a lot of smaller little events that are out there. And I just went out today and I pulled out a couple. There's one that's looks like it was in Virginia, in Mechanicsville, Virginia. This spring fling. You've got breeding of mono shrimp. You get a couple speakers. I think these are pretty intimate. We used to do a saltwater one of these way back when. And you could get some pretty interesting people to come through. I mean, we had a guy who was the guy that tested the rebreather divers and basically filmed like 400 feet down under the ocean with National Geographic. And, to get access to someone like that in a small contained environment is pretty interesting, actually. So this is a good way to, meet some pretty interesting people, at these smaller events. This one, you've got Gary Lang there as well. So, kind of a nice, fun little intimate event. And then I pulled up one from Minneapolis as well. This was the Minnesota Aquarium Society. So you can go to, you can meet Jason and Joanna there, as well as Mike Helwig. It's free admission too, which I think is pretty nice. But yeah, you could go to the swap meet. You listen to some talks, and kind of a one-day event. Doesn't really cost you a whole lot to go to it. And yeah, I mean, this is kind of another nice way to kind of get involved, meet some new people, and really not a lot of out-of-pocket costs, especially if you go local. I know there's one in Michigan. There's a killifish one in. I don't remember the date. I think it's in the spring, but it's called Tropical Magic, and it's put on by the Michiana Aquarium Society. For those of you that don't know, Michiana is kind of like West Michigan, Northern Indiana, and they kind of call it Michiana. But yeah, so that's another one that you can think about as well. So with that, I guess I'm going to ask the chat before I go into kind of the next part of the live stream. Like, what events are you planning on going to? I think I've said a few times now that I'm going to the Keystone Clash, which I'm really looking forward to. It's been a while since I've been to an aquarium event. It's been 2022, 23. That was the last time I went to one. So I'm kind of overdue. But yeah, so I really, I'm really looking forward to the Clash. I feel like the Clash has kind of taken over what the original like fish tuber booth was at Aquashella, like kind of back in the beginning. So I'm kind of really looking forward to that and seeing how that plays out. So, yeah, I mean, I think one thing I didn't really mention in here, kind of thinking through this topic, is kind of cost wise. I think it's going to cost, in my experience, like more to go to like an Aquashella than it would be to say go to like a Keystone Clash or something like that. And these smaller events are definitely, I think, more affordable as well, especially if you're local. You don't have to get a or anything either. So, all right. So, Skull says he's going to Quad City Swap. I didn't really do swaps in here, but yeah, that's one I'm kind of targeting as well. So, thank you very much for the super chat, Beto Great Lakes. I really do appreciate it. And then he's going to go to San Antonio. Like I said, that's kind of up in the air still. So, and Alec is going to go to the Lone Star as well. So looks like some good representation there. And then let me see who else is kind of in here. We've got Clicks Imagine Mages. So thank you for coming in. Thank you, Alec, as well. So I'm going to jump in kind of the second topic. And every so often, Scotty the Fish is going to go to the New Jersey Aquashella because it's close. Yeah, I mean, if it was close to me, I would definitely go. Like, I don't know if I would if it was in Chicago again. I don't know if I'd go or not. Like that's like last year I didn't. I was kind of thinking about it, and then I kind of decided not to. I think part of it for me last year was it was the beginning of volleyball season. It was in August, right when volleyball started for my daughter, and I'm like, I'm gonna be doing enough kind of traveling around. Um, and then Scotty says he supposes he should go to the Clash. So yep. Zen Ginger is going to go to the Clash along with Clicks. Hello, Scott Novoselsky. He's a member of our local fish club. He's down in Florida right now, so I'm kind of jealous maybe. Don't know what the weather is there right now, but it's definitely warmed up here. So Steven said that Shell is worth a visit. Yeah, so I was religiously going to those for quite a while. Like I kind of went to the first one back in 2018 before it kind of got big. But yeah, it's definitely worth going to. So so Scotty's the chairperson of the Clash. So yeah, you kind of have to go that if you're working at it. So oh, Scott's in the D. Oh, okay. So not in Florida. So um all right. So let's kind of go jump into the second kind of topic here. And I'm going to skip it in kind of the order that this was written. Every so often I get a bee in my bonnet to play around with things like channel art and the new logo and things like that. Um, and I kind of got encouraged to do it this time by kind of watching Steven's streams with the AI and the fish drawings and everything. I kind of, I'm usually triggered by something, either like a new piece of equipment or something like that. But yeah, I usually get triggered by like certain, seeing something or learning something new. And so I kind of get triggered to kind of play with things like a logo or channel art and things like that. So Beto said my last fish swap in Chicago was the first aquarium event I've been to. It was nice but crowded. Yes, I'm assuming you're talking about the GCCA. That's generally pretty large and pretty crowded. It's a lot of fun. That's kind of after that they have the live bear auction at least in the springtime, and that's where I've hunted down quite a few pretty nice live bears. So, but anyways, I want to flip kind of the logo section of this now. Kind of did the lead into it. But if you see here, this is the OG Fish Barn logo on your left, and actually on your right. I kind of wanted to talk about the inspiration for kind of the original OG Fish Barn logo. And I don't know if I'll even change this, but I figured I'd show you guys and kind of let you guys decide. But the original kind of inspiration for the original Fish Barn logo was the Greg Norman shark. I think we talked about in like the first stream I did about how I played golf in high school and how I got back to playing golf this summer. And one of the things that I would see a lot out in the golf course was the Greg Norman fish logo. So that was sort of inspiration for the Fish Barn logo was the Greg Norman shark. So, and it just kind of came to me one day. I was around with the photo software I use and was like, oh, kind of like this, and kind of served as an inspiration for that. So I'm going to go ahead now and kind of show you what I came up with. So I kind of started playing. The program I use to make thumbnails and stuff has an AI feature to it. And so I kind of just started playing with that and to see kind of what happened and see what I could come up with. And so I'm going to try to put this as a poll in the chat. I don't know if it'll work because there's eight options. Let me see real quick if it. Um, oh, I guess not. All right. So what we're gonna do with this then? Let me, no, I messed it up. All right. Hello, Whip. How are you? What we're gonna do here is, I guess I'm gonna kind of flip through those, um, and kind of if just put the number of the one you like. I'm gonna kind of talk about each one, and then after I'm done with that, we're gonna play a little bit of a game, with sort of I kind of with kind of related to how I made the logos because playing with the AI, I kind of came up with some interesting things. So we're gonna play a little bit of game of like guess the fish I was typing in. I mean, it's not gonna be for points; it's just gonna be for fun. But let me uh, let me flip the screen here. So this is the first one. I kind of made this cichlid-ish fish. It kind of came up with either a planted background or a black background. So that is kind of one and two. The next one here, I think we can know it. This is part of the game, so I'm not going to tell you what fish this is, but I think it's pretty obvious. Um, Kind of made two different fish here. Um, like I said, I'm not an artist. I'm actually more of like the math side than the science side. So, um, so yeah. So this was the 3 and 4. You can see that I kind of kept the barn the same in these, and then for this one, I figured no black background. I think we kind of looked at, and then this one, Cyprochromis, um, which is kind of one of my favorite fish in the hobby. So I figured that kind of nicely represent the barn. And then I did the planet and back again. And then the last one here, another live bearing fish, um, which we'll talk about here in a second. And then obviously we have the OG Fish Barn logo, which I think I'll keep. But I figured I'd have a little bit of fun playing with this. I do this from time to time, just in my in my hobby. Kind of just I like to play with these things and see if I can come up with something different. Like I'll get in the mood. I have to be in the mood to do it. Like if it's forced, then it doesn't really do any good. Uh, but yeah, so let's then with that, we're gonna play the little game now. If you guys, I'll flip through these one more time again, so you guys can see. So if you put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 in the chat, um, I'll see what you guys think. So we got the Molly. Um, I'm not a big arowana guy, Whip. I'm kind of not. It's not really my jam. Like I kind of wanted the fish to somewhat represent the barn. Um, and then the Cyprochromis is going to be 5 and 6, and then 7 is Orange Live Bear, and number 8 is the OG. So, all right. So now the part of this game is basically you want to guess what fish I was trying to make with the using the AI. So there's about 7 or 8 in here, and they get not 7 or 8. There's probably I think there's 5, and it's harder as we go. I think this was a pretty easy one. Um, I'll give it like a minute to see what you guys guess. Um, like I said, I think it's pretty easy. I think. Hello, Skipper. How are you? I'll say that you guys got it pretty quickly on this one. I'll give it a minute for the chat to kind of filter through here, but that one was pretty. Yeah, I figured that one would be about 3 seconds. So yeah, so that one was I typed in the chat. Cartoon black Molly tropical fish with no background. So that's what I put into chat. But yeah, black Molly was the fish. All right. So the next one was one of the logos we saw as well, and I think this one's a little harder. See what you guys guess for that. Nope, not a goldfish. Good guess though. That's you. I can see where you would get that from, but it's not a goldfish. Yep, I think you guys can have it, platy. So facility. Yep. Stevens at phosphorus gold molly. Give it another few seconds here. Is that phosphorus platy? All right. So that's what it was. Cartoon platy, aquarium tropical fish with no background. I thought the third one was kind of an interesting one. The other, excuse me, the other three you can kind of get, you kind of get the platy vibe with, but the third one was a little interesting. Um, so kind of, so so yeah, so like I said, these get more interesting as I go along through it. So these were kind of the easier ones. So now here's the next one. So let you guys go through that one for a minute. Actually, I got no, not an Oscar. Triggerfish, yeah, yeah. It gets a little more wild as we go through these. Not an Oscar. Tiger barb, no. Cartoon datnoid with no. Cracodon, no. We'll give it a minute. Ram, no. So, all right, I'll give you guys a second here, and then I'll go ahead and I'll flip it to show you what it was. Um, they are not all live bears, Jenna. There is one that is not. Um, so this one is a Molly as well. So this one actually turned out to be a Molly as well. Um, so whatever reason, putting the word black in Molly like made it work. So, but if you just type in cartoon Molly with no background, it sort of gave this really horrible idea of what a Molly was. So there's one in here. As we get towards the end of this, that's pretty wild. Actually, it's one that's it's pretty wild. It's nothing of what I put in there. All right, so the next one. So this is the next one. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, this was just kind of something fun. I'm not gonna do this like all the time, but since I was making them, I was like, hey, why don't I just go ahead and the one clue I will give you for this is this was not what I was trying to make, but this is what came out. No, not Tequila Goody. No, that's Cartoon Blue Akara. No, I'll give you guys a clue. We did see this fish in one of the logos, but not the logo. But not the logo that it ended up being. So the fish that I typed in here was in the logo, but the result was not the fish I put in. So The second fish was the one that ended up in the logo, but it's a different logo is what I tried to put in there. Yep, Steven got it. Leptosoma. So cartoon cyprochromis tropical fish with no background. So I figured I'd give you a clue on that one. Um, but yeah, that was pretty interesting. Yeah, none of those are even close to cyprochromis. There are a lot of things, but they're not cyprochromis. All right, so the next one. Now this one's wild. Like, good luck. This one's really really wild. I like that. Yeah, like, that's what I said when I typed it in. This one's pretty wild, right? When one of them was a bug. So yeah, this got this one got pretty wild. I could give you a clue, but I think if I give you a clue, like I think by just like random guessing, you could get it. All right. So just one more fish is close. Has the right genus. Audra's nope, but you guys are on the right genus. And I don't expect any of you to get this. By the way, trout, nope. I figured that if I said that you were just going to guess all of them till you got it, which is okay. Dodroid, nope, it wasn't Dodroid. If you were going to put a Gadaeid on a thumbnail, or a Alec got it. There you go. Skiffia multipunctata, which is none of those look like a Skiffia at all, especially the bug. So yeah, so that one was wild. So and then I think the last one's pretty wild too. Yep. So this last one's pretty wild too. So I kind of did this like part of this was I'm a pretty the Steven, I used Shutter. I use a program called Shutterstock for like pictures and stuff. But it has this AI generator that you can use, and so I started just playing around with it. And part of it part of it was my learning how to use it because I'm a pretty AI noob when it comes to doing like AI with stuff with AI. But but yeah, I figured that this was one that this was like the first one I tried, by the way. So I got better with telling it what to make and kind of playing with it. So yeah, so I got a little bit better with with this. So he's a freak. So Steven said that the AI has been getting good at rendering accurate enough fish. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I got better at telling it what to do. Like the black molly, like was pretty good. I was like, okay, if I put black molly, it might know what that is. But this one's pretty wild too. This was like I said, the first one I did. No one gets it. I'll give you like another minute or so, and then I'll just tell you what this one is because this one's pretty bad. Hell if it knows now. It, this one's this one is horrible. This one's really really bad. If you I guess I'll give you a little clue. It's the one live bearer that you really haven't guessed yet. Like no one's really guessed that live bearer. Like common live bearer. Yep, Steven got it. Swordtail. So yeah, Steven got it with Swordtail. So so yeah, like I said, like I think if I put like orange Swordtail or something like that, but if you look here, there's a date on these. So if you go through here, like there's a date when I started playing with these, right? And you see, like I got better as I kind of went through them, right? So yeah, that was the last one. So let me go back to StreamYard so I can see what I'm doing here. And yeah, so what we'll do then, um, Swords with No Tails. Yeah, that one was pretty bad. So I hope you guys had a little fun with that. Like I said, I had fun making little logos, and let me know like in the chat or in the comment section later if you guys like that or not. Maybe I'll do it again. Maybe we'll just play guess the fish, and I'll see what crazy things I can come up with. So, the other part of this stream is the emergency barn project. So I'm gonna head out to the barn. We'll pull up the barn cam, and we'll go. Like I said, Audra said that she likes the OG logo, and I think, having slept on it, yeah, definitely, I think the OG logo might be the one to keep. But I kind of like playing with it once in a while to see what I come up with. Thank you again, Beto, for the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead then. I'll put the barn cam on. It's gonna be a little noisy because I didn't shut off the dehumidifiers when I went before I went outside. It won't be too long like last week because we unfroze, so the doors unfrozen and everything like that, so I can get out pretty quickly now. So gonna go ahead. I'll add the barn cam to this to the stage, and then we'll go ahead and I'll be out there in just a minute. All right, so I'm here, but unfortunately the gimbal has an issue. So give me 1 second. See if we can get this working. If not, we're gonna have to. All right, gimbal's back and operational. For some reason it decided to. All right. So let's talk about the emergency project. So we're going to have to head downstairs for that. And I'm going to shut off the other dehumidifier real quick before we... Apologize, I should have done that beforehand. But since we're here, I did make one little change to the fish room. This tank with the Callichromis macrops seems to get a lot of mulm. So I popped this box filter in there to kind of clean the mulm up. And like this was all full of mulm last week, and now it actually looks pretty decent. So the box filter won't be a permanent thing, but yeah, then you can see the trout goodeids I got last week as well. Those are really doing quite well. So the only thing I don't like about the box filter, you probably can hear it in the mic, is it's really loud. There's not really a good way to quiet them. But let's talk about the project, because it was just interesting, I guess. So if you see here, these two, it's kind of started with these two tanks. They were basically, right now they're kind of at their normal level. But over the period of the last week, they were literally overflowing. They were like up to here. I tried to clear the drain out, and I couldn't, even with a shop vac, I couldn't get the drain clear. And what ended up happening is I fixed this now over here. But it was basically, it iced up, and it actually had broken the pipe. Like the pipe, there was a connection, and the pipe actually broke. So this kind of turned into actually a lot bigger. And then unfortunately, when I made this, I only made it with a 3/4 inch pipe. So it kind of froze up rather easily. So it kind of actually evolved, because I'm going to take you around the other side. But what I ended up deciding to do was swap it out with a 3/4 inch pipe. But to do that, there used to be a third sort of barrel that I had. But unfortunately, I had to cut it up. It was a long ways barrel. It wasn't a barrel like you see there. But I actually had to cut it up. And if you see in the back there, you can see the 1.5 inch pipe that I have there. So I ended up having to replace it. And then that was also hooked up to the big tank. So if you look here, I had to actually replumb all of the big tank as well, to get it, to redo all the drains for it. And unfortunately, that meant that I had to crawl basically underneath all of this to do that. So I basically crawled underneath there. And I'm kind of glad I did, because there was a rather large drafty opening that I had to kind of take some spray foam and fill in as well. So it's a lot less drafty in here too, which is kind of a nice thing. So the heaters aren't running as much. It's not as, it's not as cold in here, not as drafty. So it kind of worked out well, but it was really kind of something I didn't really want to do at this time of year, obviously. And then, as you see here now, I put the pipe insulation on, and then I did it in the back like the best that I could. Wasn't perfect, but did that as well. And then about a day later, it unfroze, and we were good to go. So yeah, so that's kind of the emergency project. It was very it was not a lot of fun. So now, to be fair, it wasn't the biggest emergency in the world. I'm glad I did it. The one thing too is there was actually underneath there was a Rubbermaid container as well. Um, so yeah, so it was an interesting project. It was one that was I don't like crawling underneath on the floor in the fish room. It's dirty, it's unpleasant. Kind of, I'm getting old. It kind of hurts a little bit, but glad I got it done. So hello, Big Steve's Glass Boxes. Hello, Garage Gills. Thank you guys for coming. Yeah, I actually have the gun. I actually bought the $40 gun. I've done enough spray foam projects between backgrounds and insulation stuff in here that I've kind of just needed it. And it's been nice to have. So yeah, so I got in there, got it sprayed, and I'm not gonna crawl under there and show you again, but yeah, there was a pretty decent uninsulated piece that was causing quite a bit of draft in there, which I kind of thought was from the door, but it was actually this little section. And when the weather gets a little nicer, I'm gonna go back there and spray some more and do some other work back there, see how things are. Do I have kneeling pads? No, I actually like just crawl on my back usually, kind of like if you're working on a car. I don't have a ACL in one of my knees. It's an old soccer injury, so me getting on my knees is never really. I don't do well being on my knees like that. Um, yeah, like that just doesn't work anymore, unfortunately. Actually, the weird thing is that if I had a creeper for that, it really like it's too high a lot of times. Like it'll be too high, like for me to fit under there. So I just had to grab my oldest fish shirt and crawl under there and just kind of do my thing. So, so yeah, it was definitely. I don't ever look forward to doing that. But I guess the good thing is, I did gain another summer tub for the summer, and a couple of the other Rubbermaids that are in there, I might actually get rid of at least one of those as well, maybe both of them. The only bad thing is if I get rid of, they kind of have turned into like little dump sinks for me. So I may have to get a little sink or something to put in there to kind of get rid of some of the, um, to have a place to like dump out the shop vac from duckweed and things like that. So, um, but yeah, I think we talked a few weeks ago too about the water project, and that has actually gone quite well. With having the heater heating up the water and changing the water change pattern. That's actually gone pretty well. Um, it's pretty warm today. It's 36. Kind of looking at the fish as we're talking here, and they're a lot more active. Like you can tell when it kind of gets too cold, they kind of slow down a little bit. But they're buzzing around pretty good today. So I think you know it's gone pretty well. So um, let me go through chat here real quick, make sure I didn't miss any questions. Yep, that's true too. Definitely, Alex. Web's like battling through the snow to get to the bot. There's really not much. I mean, we can go take a field trip outside if you want. And the gimbal died again. The gimbal is not behaving very well here. So I guess we're gonna lose the gimbal, and I'll take you guys outside real quick, and then I think we're gonna head inside because the gimbal has decided to not cooperate. So So we'll take a quick little field trip outside. Pretty nice out here today. For Michigan, anyway. But yeah, I mean that's the house there. You can see, I mean it's only about, I think it's about 30 or 40 feet. But let me get the light on because there's been too many animals running around and stuff. So I generally try to get the lights on in here. I don't want to run into like a, like a whatever out here. So, but yeah, so this is outside. It's not bad. I usually clear myself a little path. I bought a little Ryobi shovel to kind of shovel it along. If it gets too deep out here, but a lot of times I'll just use a blower and kind of blow myself a little path. It does get a little icy. You can see here, there's, with the packed snow, it does get a little slick out here. But other than that, not too bad. So I'm going to head inside and we'll answer your last minute question. So this right here, I know you probably can't see it very well, but this is the other container that I unfortunately had to cut up. But yeah, let me head inside and we'll put the phone away and try to give you at least a decent view. We'll throw it on a tripod, I guess. What I'll do is I'll throw you guys on a tripod, give you something to look at, and then we'll head inside. Nope, I'm back. So I'm back. So since the gimbal was broken, I decided to go just to head back inside. Let's see. Uh, so Zen said it's been cold. Hello, Adrena. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for coming. I've kept discus, but unfortunately, didn't haven't kept them in a while. I found some locally. They were little guys, and then they kind of blew up from there. So let me look. Maybe I have some old footage of them. I can show you. Let me see. Yeah, let me go ahead and I'll share and I'll show you. I'll show you the discus I had. Yeah, so this is I don't have them anymore, unfortunately, but that was the old discus tank from um, that I had years ago. Kept it about 82 degrees, I think it was. So yes, so yeah, so Audra, there's a fish Discord where a lot of um, channels are. Yeah, fortunately they passed away, but I actually had one of them fly out of the tank one time when I was feeding them. Um, it literally went to feed it. It literally went flying straight out of the tank and almost hit me, and I had to literally dive back, dodge it a little bit, and yeah. Let me find the link to Fish Court. I'll send it to you. Give me 1 second. Um, there's the link. Right, Zen beat me to it, but yeah. So yeah, those discus were really cool. I really enjoyed them. Maybe someday I'll get them again. Like I think if I ever, I might like if I was going to do like a display tank. Um, I would I would maybe do discus again. Um, I found them to be a lot of fun. So yeah, yeah, I've enjoyed that. I something I should have done years and years ago, but I never did. I'm very bad at stuff that I have to like keep on, like a forum. But I've been keeping the fish court up and kind of at least lurking in it. Um, I do want to take pictures of the three cats that we have, and I'll throw those in the other animal section. But just haven't done it yet. I have a pretty cool picture of one of our cats actually that I'll dig out of my phone and I'll put on there. He was trying to open the door, so yeah, I think that's pretty much almost my time. But if you guys have any last minute questions, go ahead and throw them my way. And definitely thank you guys all for coming as well. I do appreciate the support since we started back up again. So, anything other news for me? College thing is still ongoing. Um, Chelsea, she got deferred from Michigan. That came out Friday. She's fine with that. She took it pretty well. Wasn't really upset, which kind of proud of her for. She was just like, okay. I think of all of the group of people that applied to Michigan from her school, like one person got in on it's called early action. So only one person got in out of like the group of X number of them that applied. So I don't know how many of them actually applied, but I'm going to say at least 10. So they only got one of them in so far. I think so. What basically happens then is they put them in the regular decision pool, and then by I think it's April 1st they will give you the final answer. Um, but yeah, everything else is still on the map. So other than that, pretty much all I have. So once again, thank you guys for watching. Look for a couple of shorts this week. There's going to be one coming out tomorrow, or actually tonight at midnight. One Friday and one Saturday, and then we'll take a look for the normal video that comes out Saturday night, midnight, Sunday morning, however you want to refer to it. So, other than that, thank you guys for deferred means a possibility. I mean, like I was watching TikTok and literally like the majority of people got deferred. So it just is what it is. So, anyways, with that, thank you guys for watching. Definitely appreciate it. As always, stay safe, stay fishy, and I think Bentley's probably on next. So So go check him out. And with that, have a good night.